guys, so for day 17 of Halloween nail designs, I am doing this really cute like camo ghost set. So to start off, I am painting all of the nails with Foggy Mist from Nails by Dev. I only did one coat of this and I cured that for 60 seconds. So like I said, I'm doing this really cute camo ghost design, and I got the idea to do this because one day I was at Walmart and I was walking past like the baby clothes and they had the Halloween clothes out, and there was this super cute like little, I guess like sweatsuit kind of outfit that was like camo ghost, and I just thought it was so cute, and it was like a really unique kind of design, and I thought it would be so fun to do for some nails. So here we are doing some really fun camo ghost nails. Now I'm just pulling out the colors that I'll be using. I'm using the white and the black from Ball Pit, and I'm going to be mixing up a darker gray color. So I'm just taking that original gray and mixing some black into it to make it darker, because on the outfit it was a light gray, a dark gray, a black, and a white, and I wanted to keep that same color scheme here for that. Obviously you can do whatever color scheme you want, but I really like the gray scale kind of colors that were going on here. And technically speaking, you're not supposed to mix together two different brands of polishes like this, because they can be formulated different, they could have different cure times, they might not react well with each other, and that could like affect how they cure and everything. But sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. I've never had an issue with it, but yeah, I'd be very careful mixing two separate brands like that. Like I said, you're technically not supposed to, but sometimes you have to. Anyhow, I decided to test one nail off camera to see how I wanted to go about doing this, because I have done camo nails once before. It was for a spirit day at school, way back in high school. Anyhow, it was camo day one time. Um, there was always a camo day whenever we had Spirit Week. I'm from Missouri, so that shouldn't surprise anyone that there's a camo day included every single time for Spirit Week. Anyhow, besides the point. I had to test it off camera because I'm like, I didn't know how to go about doing a camo nail, and I didn't want to do all that testing on camera because I had to do so many layers, and like I wasn't going to know if it was going to turn out right until I got it all done. And I didn't want to like do that all on camera and have all this extra footage that was not going to be seen because I would have just cut it out anyhow if it didn't work. So I just saved myself some trouble when it came to editing and tested it off camera. And I remember when I did do that set back in high school, I think I just took the colors that I was using and like blobbed them on with the brush straight from the bottle. I was also using regular air dried nail polish, so like I did the blobs from one color, let that dry, do the next blobs and whatever. I just kind of smushed them onto the nail and it looked like camo print. I guess I could have done that for this set as well, but I decided to just go ahead and paint these little blobs on a little more precisely and carefully rather than just taking the brush straight from the bottle and smushing it onto the nail and hoping for the best. Also, the camo print on this outfit was kind of like it had a distinct kind of look to it, and I wanted to recreate that same look on the nail. So I'm just taking my 9mm liner brush and doing these little blobs of the darker gray color, and I'm just kind of doing them in random spots, and just kind of like randomly doing different little shapes. I think for the most part I tried to keep the blobs more horizontal because that's how it was on the outfit, and I did really like how it looked, with the spots being more horizontal like that. I think at some point I think there are a few that go a little more vertically than horizontally, but like it all ended up working out, and I just kind of placed them randomly, and I honestly wasn't thinking about the next layer that I was going to do. So after this dark gray color was going to be the black color, and I wasn't thinking ahead of like where I was going to place the black or how I was going to place the black. I don't know if that helped with the design at all or if it made it more difficult. I just put the dark gray down wherever I felt like putting the dark gray down, and that was how that went. After I got it down, I did cure for a full 60 seconds because I did know that some parts of it were going to get covered up by either the black that was going to be going on next or even the white that was going to be going on after that. And I wanted to make sure that this layer was completely cured before adding another layer of polish on top of it. Now I'm taking the black and again just doing some random squiggly blobs wherever I felt like doing them. Some of them, hung off the nail. Some of them were more towards the center of the nail. Just kind of wherever I felt like they would fit. I think it was when I was doing the black here, I was realizing that maybe I should have done this differently, and instead of painting the entire nail with that light gray color and then doing the random blobs of the dark gray, the black, and the white, I should have just done random blobs of all four of those colors and made sure that like the entire nail ended up being covered, because the blobs of the dark gray, the black, and the white are very like rounded and blobby like and a little more uniform. Like, they're not completely uniform, but they have a little bit more of a pattern to them, if that kind of makes sense. Like, you can tell that I actually like painted those on, whereas you can tell that the light gray in the background was just the background color and wasn't like little blobs painted on because of the shapes of it, based off of the shapes that I painted on top of it, because I did still want that light gray to show up, but I also wasn't taking into consideration how it was going to look in the end with that. So, I don't know. I feel like maybe I should have done light gray blobs, then dark gray blobs, then black blobs, then white blobs, instead of painting the entire nail light gray and then doing the other blobs. But I will say it did end up looking fine in the end. I just feel like it is a little obvious that I didn't paint the light gray on in the same way that I painted all the other colors on, if that makes any sense. But anyhow, after getting all of the black blobs painted on, I did go ahead and cure for 60 seconds. And now I'm going in and doing the white blobs. And for these ones, I did do a specific kind of look for them because these are going to be the ghosts, and I wanted to make them look ghost like. I think on the outfit, like, it's just the camo print pattern and then they just put the ghost face on it or whatever. Like, the camo print itself just kind of has like a ghostly shape to it, I guess. But the way I was painting it, I'm like, I don't know. I kind of feel like if I were to have done it the same way that I did the dark gray and the black, like, it wasn't going to give that ghost look to it or the ghost shape. So I did do these a little more specific compared to the other blobs because I needed them to look ghost like, so I could do like a ghost face on them or whatever, and it's gonna look like a ghost instead of um a white blob with a face on it. Like, I don't know. But just like the other ones, after I got that all painted on, I did go ahead and do a full 60-second cure because I do still have to do the faces on top of that, and I do want to make sure that all the white is completely cured before adding those on. then for the faces, I'm just using the black again, and I'm painting them on with my liner brush, just doing little dots for the eyes and then a little dot for the mouth. On the pinky nail, there is one ghost that I did the face like how it is on the outfit, and the face on the outfit, like the mouth is like an open mouth to make the ghost look happier. And I did do that on one of the ghosts on the pinky nail, but I ended up not liking how it looked on the nail. I think because it was like at such a small scale, it just looked weird to me. So I didn't do that. I just went with like the classic 3 dot ghost face, where it's like the 2 eyes and then the mouth is also a circle. I tried to make the mouth be a little longer than like what the eyes were, but also this was like such a small scale, and it was a little tricky to do it this teeny tiny. But after I got all of the faces on, I did go ahead and cure for 60 seconds. And now I'm just going in with the Nails by Dev matte top coat and top coating all of the nails. After I get that applied, I do go ahead and cure for 60 seconds. I just felt like since it's camo, it would look better being matte. Although it does look nice being shiny. You can see here as I apply the matte top coat, it is looking shiny right now since it is wet, and it does look good being shiny, but I just felt like it's camo. Camo's always matte to blend in with like the surroundings and whatever, so I don't know. I just feel like it would look better being matte, so that's why I went with the matte instead of shiny, but it would look really good with shiny as well if you prefer shiny over matte. And like I say, every time I use this top coat, it is a wipe off top coat, so you do have to take some alcohol and a lint free wipe and wipe off the nails to remove that sticky layer and bring out the matte effect on the nails, which also really helps with smudging and smearing. You don't get any of that, as you could see when I was top coating them. Absolutely no smudging and smearing from this matte top coat like matte top coat likes to do a lot. There's also no streaking after it's cured either, so I really do love this Nails by Dev matte top coat because there's no smudging and smearing when you apply it, and there's no streaking after it's cured. But anyhow, this is the finished result, and they came out really well. I honestly was a little surprised at how they came out, because even after I did that pinky nail and I saw how they were going to look. I was still kind of questioning it, and the more I did it, the more I was like, I really don't know if this is going to look like camo, really. But it ended up coming out really well, and it does give that camo effect. I still think maybe I should have done the gray blobs and then do the dark gray blobs and then the black blobs and then the white blobs instead of just painting the entire nail that light gray, because like I said, here at the end you can really tell that it wasn't like strategically painted like the other ones. And I feel like that's kind of what makes it not look so camo-y, but it still looks camo-y. If that makes any sense. They're still super cute either way. I just would have done these a little bit differently. And if I were to do them again, I would do them a little bit differently. But they are super cute. They're super fun. A new fun way to do some ghost nails if you're into camo or whatever. Um, but yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it.